说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
大家好，欢迎来到中文播客。Hi everyone, welcome to Chinese Pod. This is Fiona.
And this is Gwilym.
And today we're going to be showing you a very important grammar point that you will encounter when you start off learning Mandarin. And that is the difference between 就 and 才. Now, don't worry if you haven't come across this before. We're going to discuss this in detail in today's lesson, and you'll find that once you've mastered these basic rules, going forward, a lot of sentences are going to be very easy for you.
Okay, so we're going to learn it in the context of a dialogue talking about two people going to bed at the same time, but they're different kind of perspectives on whether one is early or whether it's late.
So let's listen to the dialogue 3 times. 对话第一遍。
我昨天半夜2点才睡。
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
2点就睡了。
我是大学生，你是上班族。
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
第二遍。
我昨天半夜2点才睡。
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
2点就睡了。
我是大学生，你是上班族。
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
第三遍。
我昨天半夜2点才睡。
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
2点就睡了。
我是大学生，你是上班族。
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
Now that we've listened to the dialogue, let's move on to the translations. 我昨天半夜2点才睡。
Yesterday at midnight, I only got to bed at 2 a.m.
我昨天半夜2点才睡。
Yesterday, I only got to bed at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night.
我昨天半夜2点才睡。我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
I went to bed yesterday at 2 a.m.
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
Yesterday evening, I got to bed at 2 a.m. in the morning.
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。2点就睡了。
You went to sleep only at 2?
2点就睡了。
You went to sleep only at 2?
2点就睡了。我是大学生，你是上班族。
I'm a university student and you're a working person.
我是大学生，你是上班族。
I'm a college student and you're a working person.
我是大学生，你是上班族。对哦，我们的生活不一样。
Oh, right. Yeah, our lives are different.
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
You're right. Our lives are different.
对哦，我们的生活不一样。Okay, so let's start with the discussion for today. And I'd like to start with the point that often in Mandarin, when you start learning Mandarin, you'll find that a lot of things cannot be directly translated from Mandarin to English. And this is common. And that's why it's important to keep an open mind and focus on the meaning in Mandarin and start getting yourself in a Mandarin frame of mind. So today's lesson is a very good example of that. And we'll start with the first line, which is 我昨天半夜2点才睡。
Okay, so yesterday midnight at 2 a.m. So what's the word for yesterday?
昨天
Okay, so that's Z-U-O second tone, T-I-A-N first tone. And then we have this 半夜. What does this mean?
半夜 can mean the middle of the night, literally either 12 a.m. or actually it can also mean any time between kind of like 1 to like 3 o'clock. So 半夜 it can either be midnight, like on the dot, or just midnight in general, late at night.
Okay, so in this case, it's just late at night because they say 半夜2点.
2点 is 2 o'clock. 昨天 yesterday, 半夜 middle of the night, 2点. And here we come to the key part, and that is 才 C-A-I, second tone. And in this context, it loosely translates as only. And 睡 is to sleep, right? So I only got to sleep at 2 o'clock last night.
So by using 才, we know that for them, they thought that was very late, and it was only at that time that they finally got to bed.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I didn't get to sleep until 2 o'clock last night. And here we see the contrasting statement from the student. And she says, 我昨天半夜2点就睡了.
So before it was 才睡, and now it's 就睡了.
And in this case, it loosely translates as, oh, I went to bed as early as 2 o'clock. So for the student, 2 o'clock is very, 2 a.m. in the morning is very early for her, right? So she says, 我昨天半夜2点就睡了. Now, when you see in this context, 就 always is accompanied by 了 at the end. And this does not happen with 才.
So one way to remember it is when you use 就, something 了, it's kind of something that was easy for that person to do. And 才 is the opposite. It was something that that person thought was kind of difficult.
Yes, and that's why we see the guy reply by saying, what? For you? As early as? What do you mean, right? 2点就睡了. 2点就睡了.
Okay, because he thinks, how do you regard that as early? But I guess that's because he has work in the morning.
Exactly. And that's why the university student, she replies by saying, 我是大学生. 我是大学生. I am a university student.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
So the word for college or university is quite easy to remember. It's just big school.
大学, and by adding a 生 at the end, you make it a student. 大学生. Then she says, you're a working person, right? You're someone at work. 你是上班族. 你是上班族. You are a working person. Now, 上班族is just people that work in general.
Okay, so if we just used 上班, that's kind of the verb, the act of going to work or to have a job. But by saying 族, it's you're that sort of person.
我是大学生，你是上班族.
So he kind of reflects on this and goes, of course, that's right. Our lives are different.
He kind of comes to this kind of conclusion, right? So he says, 对哦, that's correct. 我们的生活不一样. 我们的 is our. 生活 is lives. And 不一样 is different.
Okay, so 一样 is the same and 不一样 is different.
That's right. So 我们的生活不一样. Now let's do a bit of a quick recap because I can, these two words, the concept is a little difficult to grasp at first, but don't worry, let me give you one more example and we'll really consolidate what we've talked about today. So let's look at 才, right? It means it feels kind of late, right? So imagine if I was to say that I only went there at 2 o'clock yesterday. So the verb to go is 去. 我昨天2点才去. Oh, I didn't get there until 2 o'clock yesterday.
So it suggests maybe you were a bit late.
Yeah, 我昨天2点才去. But if you want to say, oh, I got there at 2 o'clock yesterday. I got there kind of ahead of time, right? 我昨天2点就去了. 我昨天2点就去了.
So in that case, it was easy for you to arrive on time. And in the other case, it was kind of difficult for you to arrive on time.
So 我昨天2点半才睡. I didn't get to bed until 2 o'clock last night. 我昨天2点才去. Right, I didn't get there until 2 o'clock yesterday. Whereas the opposite is 我昨天半夜2点就睡了。我昨天2点就去了。Oh, I got there at 2 o'clock yesterday. Oh, I got to bed at 2 a.m. last night.
Okay, well, let's listen to the dialogue 3 more times.
好的。对话第一遍。
我昨天半夜2点才睡，
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
2点就睡了。
我是大学生，你是上班族。
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
第二遍。
我昨天半夜2点才睡，
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
2点就睡了。
我是大学生，你是上班族。
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
第三遍。
我昨天半夜2点才睡，
我昨天半夜2点就睡了。
2点就睡了。
我是大学生，你是上班族。
对哦，我们的生活不一样。
Okay, Fee, what's your outlook? Do you think going to bed at 2 is early for you or kind of late?
Well, 我是上班族. You know, now I work. So I would say, 我昨天半夜2点才睡.
But your sister, who maybe is a student, she would say...
Yeah, 我的妹妹是大学生. My sister's a college student. So she would say, 我昨天半夜2点就睡了. So 就 and 才 are tricky little words in Mandarin. As you learn more and more, you'll find out that they actually mean a wide range of different things. And that's why it's good to kind of study words that kind of relate to each other in their kind of insular contexts. So I would really encourage you to kind of change up the situation, let's say, and practice 就了 and 才.
At the same time, it's kind of beautiful how you can use a single character to change the entire kind of emphasis of the sentence. So both sentences are exactly the same. You just switch the two characters and you get a different meaning, like how we would use emphasis.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. Don't worry about it if you found maybe the content a little bit difficult. Listen to it again. Practice makes perfect, and we'll see you next time.
再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
2661.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/2661 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/2661.